Hey guys, we're live. Thanks for joining me. My name is Arissa, and I haven't done a live video in a long time, so I thought, what an awesome opportunity to hop on this Friday and just do a live video with you guys. So I periscoped this earlier today, probably in the morning, but I wanted to talk to my Facebook people because I was listening to this podcast. And if you don't know what that is, a podcast is simply like a talk show episode, but on iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I listened to Lewis Howes. And I was listening to it at work, and the first time I listened to it, I wasn't paying attention. And then one of my friends and mentors was talking about this the other day, and I was like, I should have probably paid attention. So I went back and listened to it for a second time, and it was so awesome. I got so much out of it, so many gold nuggets. So I want to share this with you guys. So I don't know if you can see it. I wrote it down, but the podcast episode was lewishowes.com/341. Sorry, I'm reading it backwards. 341, and it was with #1 New York Times best-selling author Elizabeth Gilbert. She's written Eat, Pray, Love. I've never seen the movie. I've never read the book. But she also is the author of Big Magic, and I want to show you guys. So, if you've probably seen this book, my light is blowing out the laptop, but let me try. Okay, so you've probably seen this book at Barnes & Noble, wherever, and they were talking about this book, and also Eat, Pray, Love. So you can go check her out. Again, I've never read the books or watched the movie. I think Julia Roberts stars Elizabeth Gilbert in the movie. But in the episode, what I took from it, I got so many notes from it. Like, I have a notebook all the time with me at work, at home, just so that I write these golden nuggets. And I wanted to share this with you because they were talking about fear. And Elizabeth was kind of saying how fear can take on so many disguises, so many faces, so many masks. You know, when you think of a mask, you think of like a costume party, and you put on your mask. So, but people don't actually know how to discern. They just kind of go about life, and they don't realize that it's fear that's holding them back. So, here's the #1 thing that I got from it. How to know if it's fear that's stopping you, but how it makes you behave. And one example that comes to my mind is by panicking. The word panic comes to my mind. When you're afraid, when you have fear, the first thing that sets into me, and I know it sets into you because you're like me, is panic. You start to panic, and you don't know what to do, and you get nervous, and you start making up these stories in your head, and you start thinking worst case scenario, right? You go to like the worst case scenario right away. So it's by how it makes you behave. You might have a different word for it, but for me, it's panic. And I know my mom does the same thing because we're so alike. She panics when she's fearful of things, when she doesn't have control of the situation, when something is coming and she's not ready for it. She is one to want to be ready before the storm comes, right? So another way that fear can hide behind is by your feelings. She talked about apathy, deep ennui, snarkiness. You might come off as snarky because you might be afraid to let some people in. It might be boredom. And boredom to me was like, why boredom? Well, when you want to go and do something, but you're afraid to go out and do it, you sit and you loathe and you just kind of get bored, right? So I'm holding my microphone because I lost the clip. So you get bored and you want to go out and do things and hang out with people, but something about you is not letting you step out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's your room, maybe it's your house. And so you sit in boredom and just let life and let the days go by without going for it is that you want. It might just be going on a hike. As simple as that. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be extreme. It could just be getting out and meeting new friends, or maybe starting a new relationship. And another word that stuck with me was perfectionism. You know, some of us are so scared to put something out there because we don't feel it's good enough. Maybe we don't feel we're good enough, right? So we have that perfectionism syndrome where we don't want to let people in on our flaws. We don't want to people see how imperfect our project is. And that's fear. When we're not putting something out there, I always tell myself, done is better than perfect. Just get it out there. Just because if I keep dwelling on it's not good enough, it's never going to get put out there. Just like my videos, for the longest time, I was not making live videos because I was like, my hair is not done. Nothing's done, right? I don't have content. I don't have anything to share. So, just get it out there. And then the last thing to know if fear has a disguise, if you aren't doing it, if you aren't doing what you want to do, what you set your dreams out to do, then it's fear. If you're not doing that one thing that you want to do, it could be to write a book, it could be to travel, it could be to start a business idea, it could be to simply quit your job, then it's fear that's holding you back. And I haven't read the book, but I plan on it. And if you've read the book, if you know anything about Elizabeth Gilbert, please comment down below. I'd love to hear kind of your reviews and thoughts. After the interview, I really wanted to get hands on this book because it's all about big magic, creative living beyond fear. And who doesn't need that? Everyone has fear. It just depends what kind of disguise it has in your life. So that's it. Again, go check this episode out. I highly recommend listening to Lewis Howes. He's one of my favorite podcast interviewers, and this was one of my favorites. Episode 341, and that is it. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday. And I know some of you are going to go see the Dory movie. So, enjoy your movie. Happy Friday. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.